The Google Ads platform is no longer the platform which we once knew. From AI scripts to AI softwares to all sorts of these additional features, everything is constantly evolving. But as an e-commerce brand owner or marketing manager, it can often feel overwhelming. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to go over some of the biggest changes Google Ads has had so far in 2025, what this means for your own e-commerce brand, and how to even approach these changes so that you can continue scaling with Google Ads. Because trust me, the game is far from over. There's still a lot of ways that you can continue scaling exponentially with Google and continue being extremely profitable. I know, because I'm working with brands right now, handling brands with Google Ads, where we are doing exactly this. But what do a lot of these changes even mean? Let's start off with some of the main changes which I have seen come across the Google Ads platform and the way the platform has changed. The first major change I have noticed come about is AI-driven automation and smart bidding. Back in the day, when you could do manual bidding, when you could get away with maximized clicks or manual CPC, things were often easier. And during that time, what you had a lot more control of was the strategy itself, as well as the campaigns, how they performed, etc. Now, in 2025, it's almost like you have 25% of the original control which you once had. And while this may sound a bit depressing, a bit shocking as well, it's not as bad as it seems, because Google's AI automation right now is smarter than ever before. You got to keep in mind the Google Ads algorithm is literally spending millions and billions of dollars every single month getting data within a given industry and a given niche. So there's a pretty good chance the AI itself is smarter than you or me personally when it comes to deciding how the campaign should perform. And on top of that, things such as conversion signals, first party inputs, the data that you add in the back end, the strategies that you have, all of these help optimize your campaign's bids in real time. So what this means is, and this is the biggest change that has happened during these past 1 to 2 years, is smart bidding is no longer just optimal, it's basically an essential, a requirement almost. This is because now if you try to work against Google's automation, if you try to work against Google's bidding and everything in between, Google actually penalizes you and punishes you by sending the lower quality of traffic that's available in the market. And while you may not see this on the front end level on the Google Ads dashboard itself, in the back end, the algorithm is actually working against you because you are taking control away from the algorithm. So the moral of the story here is give Google as much control as needed while ensuring you are guiding Google's directions. You don't want to just hand over the keys to your house and basically let Google go in and do whatever it wants. You want to make a pathway to the front door of your property so that Google knows which way the direction is for the house. And then when they go inside the actual house, you have pathways guiding them towards the kitchen, towards the bedroom, towards the bathroom. It's all guided, so Google knows exactly which way to go. It's going to take its own steps, but as long as you provide the guidance, it's going to be the right strategy and it's going to take your brand to the very next level. Second biggest change Google has had in the recent time period is AI overviews, and the AI mode, which Google now has integrated within the platform, has changed the game completely, because now Google shows ads inside AI-powered summaries. It's called the AI overview section and the AI mode itself, which I went over in some of my previous videos. And this is available both on mobile as well as desktop. So these AI overviews and whatnot, they're generated by something called Gemini and can significantly reduce the traditional CTRs of your products, of your ad copies. Why? Because now users no longer have to go on your actual landing page to understand more about the product, to understand if they want to buy the product or not, because these AI overviews and this AI mode basically gives them an entire summary of what your landing page would do, but just in one specific window, so they don't have to move around a lot, they don't have to open a bunch of tabs. And while this makes the user's life easier, it now is going to destroy your CTRs if your product is not something the market wants, or if the overall product feed and the overall perceived value of your product is just not there. So what this means is it's even more important now than ever before to ensure you have proper structure in place, you have proper placement in place for the product feed, images, titles, descriptions, the attribute section within the merchant center, because users now have access to all this information in one small window, and within a split second they will know if they want to even go on your landing page or not. So what this means is your CTRs will take a big hit, and if you're noticing your CTRs are dropping, it means that your product feed and just the overall foundation needs a lot of extra work to get in order. And keep in mind, CTRs negatively influence your quality score for your entire ad account. Third major update I've seen that has come about with Google is the new shoppable ad format in Gmail. Now, Google is testing recently visually rich shoppable ad units directly inside Gmail's promotions tab. So if you go on your Gmail account, you click on the promotions tab, if you're able to see it, you'll now notice some shopping ads directly popping up there. These are immersive carousels which include product images, prices, star ratings, CTAs, basically the entire product feed and what you would see on shopping placements, but now inside Gmail. And this is opening up sort of a non-traditional ad channel for e-commerce brands. If you know how to utilize it properly, this can be extremely scalable for your brand, because half the world is on Gmail. And if they click promotions, if your ad is coming up there, not only does this add more authority for your brand because now you're on an official email platform, which is Gmail, but also there's more ways for users to now go onto your landing page. It's not just limited to shopping placements or the AI overview or the AI mode or search or any of that. It's now expanded beyond that, which is exactly what you want to be utilizing and harnessing to take your brand to the next level. I know this because this is what we're starting to do for a lot of the brands we handle under my agency, Your Marketing, which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with the Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But fourth major update, so to speak, that Google has introduced is creative AI tools such as VO, Imagine, and Creative Automation. These tools like VO and Imagine, they can now auto-generate ad images and videos from your product catalog. And not only does this make it easier to now produce creatives, but it even makes it easier to go on different placements like YouTube, like PMAX asset group section, or display, demand gen, so on and so forth. There's literally no excuse for your brand now not to be on these extra placements, because not only are they great ways to scale, if you have provided the right inputs for these AI softwares and tools, they can provide you with very realistic ad copies and ad creatives, which can of course make it extremely easy and doable for you to scale your brand in terms of revenue. And this is again another thing most brand owners are not really utilizing. They're still looking to pay for UGC content, they're still looking to hire real people, when the reality is these tools are just as good, if not better, than what most individuals will give you in terms of content. So this is something I highly recommend for a lot of the brands to try out, especially now the brands that we are working with. We're slowly incorporating this because this is again unlocking an external third-party avenue for growth, and it's letting us have creatives within a split second, tens and hundreds of different creatives and approaches. So again, it's basically a no-brainer to now test these on platforms like Demand Gen, YouTube, etc. But fifth major update Google has gone through recently is first-party data and privacy first targeting, essentially. So with tracking restrictions rising, with all the tracking rules, regulations, European rules, all these things, especially under Google's privacy sandbox framework, which is what it's called, first-party data like customer lists, the engagement list, so on and so forth, is actually even more critical than ever before for accurate targeting and performance, because now there's lower and lower amounts of things which these platforms are being able to track because of privacy, data insertions and whatnot, and people just caring about their data. So now it's even more important than ever before for you to provide as accurate list in the backend as possible, whether it's customer list, engagement list, and ensure that any new data that comes to the door gets tracked properly and following Google's policies. Because if for whatever reason you're not abiding by Google's rules in this manner, it's gonna basically open up another avenue for your account to get suspended or to go against Google's policies, which obviously if you want to be in good standing with the platform, you never want to do. So very critical for you to now look into these things and ensure that you have proper tracking in place in the back end, you have submitted the proper customer list and everything, and you're providing as much data as you potentially can in terms of customer list to the algorithm, so it can become smarter and so it can eventually scale your brand to the very next level. But second to last major kind of update and change Google is having with this platform is the benchmarks and rising CPC trends. Now overall, throughout the years, what I have noticed is CPCs have gone up. I mean, it's pretty natural and common sense if you think about it, because every year new competitors enter the market, more brands want to now start using Google Ads. But industry benchmarks from my studies and from what I have seen show that click-through rate is actually up by around 3.7% year over year. Cost per click is rising across 90% of the industries and niches. But the good news is conversion rate is also up in about 65% of the verticals like Google Shopping, search, YouTube, so on and so forth. So while CPCs are rising, it's no surprise, conversion rates are also rising, which means now more people are buying from brands which appear on Google or within Google's display network. So that means there is still a lot of opportunity out there for your brand to go into the market, compete properly, and still gain a good amount of sales revenue and traction, because at the end of the day, a user still wants to shop with a reliable brand. They still want to kind of do business and give money to the brand which can satisfy their needs and desires. So it's all about high perceived value. It's all about product market fit, basically. But final major change that I've noticed with the Google Ads platform in 2025 and just these recent time period is creative changes such as the UGC and immersive format. So things such as the raw, authentic content, UGC content basically, is outperforming polished production. What that means is you could basically hire a whole crew, a whole team to basically record the best ad on this planet, but that's not going to perform as well as an authentic raw piece of content filmed by yourself or by some UGC creator, basically using a phone and just basically turning it around and recording yourself talking about your product or something along those lines. And this is especially true for placements like demand gen and YouTube. And it doesn't matter if you're trying to sell beauty products or furniture products, interactive ads like these are becoming more and more popular, especially with the AI modes and AI interactive placements that Google is introducing. So what that means is you need to now stick to more authentic content. Get your customers to record videos of themselves leaving reviews for your products or using the product. These are much better than you going out hiring an entire film crew and trying to get content for your products, because at the end of the day, your audience is now preferring to interact with other real audience members versus these fake ads because of the overall influence of AI and these fake videos that are out and about through softwares like Veo and whatnot. So keep things authentic, keep things straightforward, don't overcomplicate the process, and most important of all, provide a good experience for your customers. And if you need help scaling with Google Ads, you already do $50,000 or more per month in revenue, and you want to take it to the next level, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.